We'll start with the quarterback, obviously. Bryce Young, last year was quite the roller coaster. 2 games in, getting benched. A lot of people thought this is it, first time in Carolina. Then he gets the job back. And the way he finished the year, the last 3 games of the season, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions, over 600 passing yards. What changed last year with him? Was it a confidence thing? Was it a wake up call? Because he went from looking completely defeated to looking like a franchise potential quarterback.
I think a lot of it came with pre-snap. I think he was pressing before the snap. I think getting out of the huddle was a struggle those first 2 games. And listen, everybody wants to talk about his struggles. The nuance of it is when you have a young quarterback who doesn't have a ton of weapons, who was pulverized his rookie year, who's going to have, he's going to see some shadows, and then he's got to put up 30 to 35 points a game to be competitive. That's going to be really difficult for anybody. But really, I think what happened was, they started him week 1 of his rookie year. I wrote about it several times. They shouldn't do it. They literally signed the definition of a like a good bridge quarterback in Andy Dalton, and just let Bryce cook. But they did it within a structure that's not what he did at Alabama. And so that faltered. Then they get into the next year hoping that this is just going to work. I think watching Andy Dalton play for 4 weeks, where he put up pretty good numbers despite, a lack of success in the win column, helped him understand that he could trust his offensive line, trust his receivers, trust the process, trust what the offense looks like, and understand where it comes from the outside looking in. And I think that helped. He came back against Denver, had kind of a mediocre game, but then, the next week played New Orleans and lit up the sky, took that momentum into Germany, and then from there they were off to the races. With a franchise quarterback who struggled in his first year, you're just looking for promise. And then once you see that promise, you want to find proof. Well, in order to prove that he is a guy beyond this year, he's got to take the promise that he had last year and make that kind of work consistently throughout this year.
From your reporting, has there been anything that Dave Canales did or Brad Idzik did, sitting him down? Because I feel like I don't know if people watched the Week 18 game versus the Falcons last year, but that was a crazy game back and forth, and Bryce and Michael Penix were outdo. It was unbelievable to watch it, but like it feels like his confidence in the game, confidence at the podium, the way he speaks, like everything has changed. Is there any specific moment that happened where it felt like, all right, I could do this?
I think Denver kind of showed you the rhythm a little bit. It wasn't a great game by any means, but I think leading the huddle, he felt like he was more swift with how he was handling, the huddle and getting to the line, getting everybody lined up, and then snapping the ball. I think he just felt an utter comfort after seeing it, from a sky high view. And so I will say, I think Canales and Bryce have had to communicate. I also think once you've reached rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. Bryce was raised very well. He comes from a very sharp family. They are very smart people. And I think the mindset is with their faith, but also with their, he's an optimist, I think, in a lot of ways. And I think that kind of helped. Well, okay, cool. I've been at rock bottom. There's no way to go but up. And what are you going to do? Sit here on rock bottom? Or are you going to take this challenge? And Dalton gets slightly injured in a car crash. He gets his opportunity. Maybe that was a sign that this was supposed to happen. You never know. I think realistically, you get some confidence once you kind of start putting up. I think that Saints game was like huge for him. It was a division opponent. They got like railroaded in week 1. Like it was, it was a disaster for them in week 1. And I think bouncing back and having the game that he had to kind of get redemption was very helpful for not only him, but the program.
Now, I do want to ask you one more thing about Bryce. When the benching happened after week 2, I know Dan Morgan already has said, like, we just need him to reset. He'll be back here. Do you really believe the organization believed that he would come back and be this? Or do you think they felt like, we're not sure about this?
I think it was mixed. I think there were some folks that were like, okay, what can Bryce do that he didn't do the previous, what was it, like 16, 17 games? And then I think there were other people who were like this kid won a Heisman. I mean, could make some incredible plays when you let him cook. I think one of the problems is he tried to learn within a structure, and that's not his game. He is a guy who can scramble and make really impressive plays with the ball. Like, he is not a guy who's just going to be a pocket passer, but he's also not a guy who's going to be like Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson and run for, 100 yards a game. That's not his game. He's kind of a guy who is just really good in improvisation and making throws, off platform, which he has done a ton of in training camp.